Moira Weigel, Labor of Love, The Invention of Dating. In the book Labor of Love, The Invention of Dating, Moira Weigel delves into the historical, social, and economic factors that shaped modern dating. The summary captures the transformative role of the Industrial Revolution in altering courtship among the working and middle classes, and sheds light on the practice of a going steady in the 1950s to the impact of the sexual revolution and the AIDS epidemic. This engaging summary highlights the influence of shopgirls on dating culture, challenges faced by non-traditional couples, and the evolution of online dating.
Dating in the Industrial Age. How the Industrial Revolution changed courtship and dating. Welcome to the world of modern dating, where swiping right and left is the norm. Ever wonder about the origins of dating? Well, the answer lies in the Industrial Revolution. Before the late 19th century, matchmaking was orchestrated by parents or relatives, but the influx of female workers transformed life in cities. Suddenly, men and women were seen in public spaces together, showing affection in parks and alleyways. This was mainly because people had nowhere else to go as apartments were small and crowded, leaving little room for privacy. However, the story of courtship changed for the expanding middle class, built with the new wealth from industrialization. Their popular method of courtship involved men vying for the affection of women by going to their homes. A man interested in a woman would show up at her front door and leave his name with a servant. If the woman was interested, she would invite him inside, and they would talk, sing, and enjoy each other's company, but always under supervision. This private ritual reflected the wealth of the growing middle class. The book explains how the booming economy and societal changes transformed the courtship process, leading to the start of dating as we know it today. The article focuses on the history of dating so that readers can better understand how the current system evolved. The evolution of dating culture. The influence of shopgirls in the rise of consumerism and its impact on modern-day digital courtship is explored in this book. Gone are the days of scouring bars for potential dates. Today, individuals are more likely to turn to dating apps. But how did we get here? The author explores the origins of modern-day dating culture, beginning with the key role played by shopgirls. These women, employed by department stores in the early 20th century, observed their affluent clients and replicated their tastes, becoming excellent salespeople in the process. By 1925, consumerism was central to American society and had an impact on how we perceive potential partners, with online dating profiles often emphasizing consumer preferences over personal traits. However, it's important to note that dating was not always an option for everyone, and the book delves into the experiences of those who were excluded from traditional dating culture. Overall, this book provides an insightful and engaging exploration of the fascinating evolution of dating culture, from its roots in the early 20th century to its present-day digital incarnation. Secret language of love. In the 1900s, discrimination against homosexuality and challenges for black women to find partners forced them to create a secret language for finding love. The language included signals like tilting the head or using clothing, while black women organized rent parties to meet single men. In the early 1900s, oppression and discrimination were rampant for gay people and black women in America. Homosexuality was illegal and often resulted in jail time or public shaming. As a response, the gay community developed a secret language as a way to communicate their sexual preferences without fear of persecution. This included signals like tilting one's head and using terms like gay, which meant fun, or bright. Clothing was also used as a form of communication, with some people wearing specific items to signal their sexuality. Additionally, black women working as domestic servants in white households also faced a difficult time finding partners. These women organized rent parties, where musicians would play for money, and the proceeds would go to the host struggling to pay rent. These parties also provided an opportunity for black women to meet single men. Despite the hostility towards homosexuality and the challenges faced by Black women, these communities found ways to connect and support each other through a secret language and social gatherings. Their resilience and creativity in the face of oppression are admirable and continue to inspire marginalized communities to this day. The 1950s, the birth of Going Steady. Exploring the origin of modern dating. Modern dating has come a long way since its inception in the 1950s, with Going Steady being an innovative trend that initiated it all. However, the practice of jumping from one relationship to another without any plans of settling down has become a norm in recent times. The 1950s era saw a coming-of-age ritual that involved dating for fun rather than finding a partner for marriage. This fad, called Going Steady, raised concern among the conservative and old-fashioned parents of that day. While dating earlier was primarily aimed at finding a spouse, Going Steady provided young people with the liberty to date whoever they wanted. Although premarital sex was not uncommon, parents feared their children would end up with incompatible partners. Studies from the era showed that young people explored their sexuality with their partners, often stopping just short of intercourse. The Kelly longitudinal study demonstrated that the majority of married couples had done more than just kiss and hug their partners before marriage. Understanding the origin of modern dating helps us appreciate the liberty we have, and make the most of it too. Sexual revolution and cultural changes. The sexual revolution of the 1960s brought about significant changes in dating and sexual relationships, eliminating previous restrictions and promoting free love and sexual exploration. The younger generation believed that sex and sexual desire were natural and should not be restricted by laws that condemned premarital sex or homosexuality. This new attitude towards sex made dating easier and more enjoyable for both men and women. This cultural shift led to the success of adult magazines like Playboy and Cosmopolitan, which encouraged sexual exploration and provided guidance on how to be more desirable to the opposite sex. By the early 1970s, Playboy had a massive subscription base, and each issue sold millions of copies, ushering in a new era of sexual freedom and experimentation. The impact of AIDS on society. In the early 1980s, an uncommon disease affecting gay men perplexed doctors. It was later named AIDS. The epidemic forced people to talk about sex, as the stakes had been raised dramatically. Though abstinence was advocated, people began to devise ways to practice safe sex. South African Dr. Joseph Sonnabend wrote a booklet called How to Have Sex in an Epidemic, which explained how to practice safer sex. Honesty about sexual relations in the gay community eventually spilled over to the general public, prompting communities to talk about sex openly. U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop encouraged Americans to openly discuss matters of sex via pamphlets published by the Centers for Disease Control. The epidemic transformed society's view of casual sex and dating, making sexual freedom not as free as it used to be.
Throughout the complexities of dating history, the focus has always been on forging connections. From the shift in courtship practices in the late 19th century to the age of digital dating, we have adapted and evolved to find love. The book summary highlights the importance of understanding the different factors that have shaped our current dating practices, revealing the impact of economic development, societal expectations, and individual efforts. As we continue to navigate the world of dating and relationships, Labor of Love provides valuable context and insight into our pursuit of romance.